Where do I begin? As I look at the nation's problems and the division that is being promoted continuously, you have gay rights, you have women's rights, and then you have Black rights. The first two are distractions from the latter. So therefore, where do we begin to repair the damage that has been done through educational programming institutions? In life, we learn information. In processing that information, there's what is called critical thinking that separates the intelligence from the learned. There are a lot of individuals out here that are in positions that are learned individuals. They are not intelligent. They are not wise. So, trying to really come about a solution, I realize that the only real issue that should be addressed is our children. How do we correct what was done to us? And how do we have them have better morals, better values, and better principles? It starts at the most fundamental level, mother and father. Ten Commandments tells us to honor our mother and our father. And that is declared sacred grounds. Here in America, the family, I sit down and talk with an individual about, the breakdown of the American family began with the wars. We all understand the Illuminati and the Rothschilds and, how they funded both sides of the war for economic gain. And that's mainly what is happening in the family environment with mother and father. Realize that civil courts, family courts, are a $1 billion industry. Big bucks, no whammies. Because people are unaware of their rights, they are not pursuing to correct the problem. They're just really trying to resolve the issues for their own sake, for their own pride, for their own self gratifications, never addressing or correcting the problems. Here in Louisiana, first, it begins with the judges not abiding by laws. Secondly, who can we turn to when judges do not abide by the laws? Hey, I've written to the special counsel, the Judicial Commission, reported judicial misconduct. And each and every time a letter, it's been 7 times that a letter has been returned to me stating that my allegations do not meet judicial misconduct within the scope of their jurisdictions. They never explain to me what is the scope of their jurisdictions. I wrote a letter to the Governor John Bell Edwards. He directed me to go to the Judicial Committee special counsels and report, which I did. I also wrote a letter to the Attorney General and informed him of the situations and of the matters. Here's legal issues with our integrity, with our community, or just being honorable. It's do what you say you're going to do. I'm not asking you to lie to me. And that is what has happened here in America for years and years and years. I've been lied to. Justice for all. E pluribus unum. United we stand. Whereas the nation has always been divided between whites and others. Foundation, you know, like I said, it's predicated on a lot of corruption or hidden agendas, ulterior motives. And this is what we need to weed out and really address in today's society. My thing is the old people, it's hard to teach old dog new tricks. So, ergo, the youth. How do we correct the problem for our youth who are being denied proper supervision, home training, and the support system of both halves of their family? Yeah, you might get child support, but yet and still, what about that child's grandparents on that side of the family? What about that child's aunts, his cousins, or her cousins, or any, relatives, that family, friends, and so forth, that they are being denied because of one immature parent who wants to bully their situation. Ultimately, we must recognize parental alienation. I was a child who grew up without his father. My mother replaced my father with a stepfather, and I fought to be understood throughout that whole family life. There was times that, I was beat, I was molested, and I had no one to turn to, which created anger inside of me. So I eventually, with my spiritual background, had to address my anger. And this is what is happening to our youth. As my mother explained to me, I did not ask to be born. I did not ask to be put into this situation. So, ergo, it just created a problem from the beginning. And this is what we need to do. For each and every child, we need to ensure that equal protection under the law is upheld, basically. Because for the most part, I'm not even caring about myself. I'm caring about my children's right to be held by me, to be consoled by me, to be comforted by their father, to be involved in their lives, definitely, because I have a greater understanding. I have greater patience, than most, I'd say my exes. My learning, I'm it's it's not about me. It's about the future of my children. And that is what is being, it's definitely, we're falling short here in America on that level. I suggest a German approach. They have mandated to where each parent is protected, you know, whereas like right now, I feel like I was a victim. I was preyed upon, especially with my ladder, and it's kind of hard to figure things out because of the people in their ear, outside influences, you know, and how this person is completely done a 360-degree compared to our relationship in general. And it's just, it's I'm really like baffled because these are people that I believed in. These are people that I actually loved and cared for and believed that they cared for me. And just until, either like say one wife, until when I married her, she completely changed. When she had a child for me, she changed yet again. And ergo has every woman since the patterns. In Germany, I'd say pregnant women are considered so whatever they do, they're kind of honestly they are treated like children. They're it's overlooked and it's forgiven. They're not held accountable because of the hormonal changes and the issues and so forth. And that is what we need to take into account in today's society. Instead of saying that we are all equal, we need to acknowledge the differences, especially between women and men. My thing is that we are each one half of a whole, and it takes both of us to come together. And our whole existence is about procreation, having children. We must come together for the continued existence of mankind, the human species. So there must be cooperation. And that is the problem that I find in my relationships. At a certain point, the cooperation is not there. There is a betrayal. There is a lack of assistance, and that this is being condoned rather than these people being held accountable. My thing, hey, women want equal rights. We got to treat them just as equally as men. No favoritism, no um, childish, like they're not responsible enough to handle certain things. We need to definitely hold them accountable and push them to their fullest potential, to push them to better themselves. We got to stop enabling. Definitely. That is horrific here in America because we live on a bullying society, a bullying system, and each person, instead of correcting the next, enables, you know, many times the problem. It's hard to walk the path of righteousness, and it's easy to to go astray, definitely, and that's what is happening with a lot of people these days, is they're choosing the easy route. They're not challenging themselves. They're not pushing themselves to be better. But like I said, our youth is really the focus. God bless.